Chama chame, chama wangapo. I know it's the middle of the day and not that many people is on during the winter months. But I'm gonna do this video anyways, or I'm not gonna do this video. You know how I get with sometimes spacing out the videos and things. So we're gonna get into Indigenous Aboriginal surnames. Hi HM. And I told a couple of you guys on Facebook that I have some I don't know what you want to call it, but I have some information on the Carter surname and its indigenous origins. So if you guys want to get into that, stay tuned and grab your pen and your pad and let's start digging turtles. I gotta have my little slogan. How you doing? All right, sorry, I got a phone call. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with Carter. Hey, Chama Wangapo, cousin. We're gonna start off with Carter, and I have my notes here, but my son scribbled on them, so give me a minute. Okay, so the Carter surname, listen here. I actually have a book excerpt showing an indigenous person with the surname. I don't know if y'all can see it here. It's probably backwards for you guys, so I'm gonna flip it around in a second so you can see. And we're gonna get into it. So basically, the Carter surname is comes from a Powhatan word, actually, right? Now, I don't know about the English Carters. I know a lot of people, the thing now is saying that a lot of the European surnames come from us, which I'm seeing a lot of that. They kind of anglize it and take it for their own. So if you don't know, if you haven't, not familiar with genealogy in Virginia and the Carolinas, Carter is a big surname. It is said to have come with the Europeans. It's said to be a European surname. But I'm seeing from my research that the majority of people with the Carter surname are not European, right? Some of us do have a mixed European descent. Some people don't. And people like to say that all our names are slave names, but they're not. It's not true. And all of us do not descend from slaves. And there's nothing wrong with descending from enslaved people because these people were prisoners of war and taken unjustly from their homeland and from their land that they're living on, because a lot of the plantations are actually built on indigenous villages. And I hope I'm not looking cross-eyed because my camera's over here. So a lot of the plantations and a lot of the towns, majority of them on the East Coast especially, are built on the indigenous towns. All they did was take our framework and they just added their little twist to it. And they basically used us to build it as well. Used our labor to build on top of our old work. So let's get into the Carter surname. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. The European origin, so-called origin of it, and they're saying that it comes from Gaelic in a Celtic language, which some people know have ties to Algonquin, to the Algonquin people. Okay, a lot of us went over there, and I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that stuff, the Algonquin European connection, but they're saying that the surname is a clan or a tribe in Ireland or Scotland. Mick Carter. And Mick means son of Carter, okay? And it says that means somebody that transports goods in a cart, a carter, if you understand it. But there's another word I'm about to show y'all right now. It's actually a Powhatan word. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me flip it around. Gotta take it off thing. Peace, you guys. Halito. Chama Capo. These telemarketers. Give 1 second, y'all. So this is the book. Now this book is Landmarks of Old Prince William in Prince William County, the county in Virginia, Northern Virginia, which had the Dogs, and different tribes up here, the Taxahoo. So this says, let me read it right here. Now this text is going into the history of the county, and they're in the interactions with the indigenous people here. All right. So they're talking about Saturday. Let me just skim through it. They met with a boat going up to the river. So these people are working on the boat. Okay. So this is my source for, excuse me, Carter being Algonquin Powhatan word. And further, these said, Harris declared, there yesterday came over from Pamunkey with him an Indian named Chicarter, a warrior captain that was going to Captain Brent and told him Captain Brent had sent him, and further said the Indian told him that they did hear the Englishmen in England had cut off their king's head, and there were abundance of Dutchmen coming and a great many ships, and they should bring abundance of match coats and other things with them. That the king of Piscataway had hired Seneca Indians by reason that they might have a better opportunity to kill the people of Virginia, telling them that they must make haste and kill the Protestants before shipping did come in. After the shipping came, they would then kill the Papists, and then they would kill all the Indians. All right, so that's a whole nother story, you guys. But that's a whole, and that goes in with the history of the Mingos too. And I'm gonna do another part with that. But so basically, this Pamunkey man is named Chicarter. Okay, this is a Pamunkey Powhatan word, Chicarter, right? And like I said earlier, if you knew the history of the ancient Europeans and the Algonquins, you would know that there is a connection with the Gallic and Celtic people, and they have a lot of the same traditions. Right, so y'all see that? This is an Indian name, and the Pamunkey Indian is named Chicarter. All right. Sorry, a bunch of stuff on my desk. But yeah, so they're telling us, and when you do this research, you're not going to find what I just showed you anywhere besides this source here. But they're trying to tell us that this name is foreign when it's really indigenous. Okay, this is in the 1600s. So on the next page, they're talking about something in 1668. It's not like these people are already colonized and what is the word? Anglicized and westernized at this point. They still have their indigenous names and their indigenous what do you call it, identity. Okay. So I'm gonna get into some more names. You guys are asking me in the comments. Let me see what you're saying. And that's why I wanted to do it live so I can see your comments. Okay, Jamal, you said Curry. What about the Curry surname? And do I know information on the Catawba tribe? The Catawba are Siouan people. I was just reading, somebody posted something, I think Christina, Red-tailed Hawk, Raven Red-tailed Hawk had posted something about the Pawnees and the Siouan people. And a lot of their surnames, like I was saying, I was telling her, a lot of the surnames are intermixed with all the different tribes. That even if their people were not Siouan, they share names with the Powhatan people. They share names with the Iroquois tribes because at a certain point in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the people intermixed. They intermixed. They're trying to. Sorry for talking so fast. What they say, keep the blood pure. That's exactly what they were trying to do. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this a little further. I don't have that much time. People keep calling me. I'm gonna get into some more. And I think I do have some Catawba. A lot of the Catawba and the Tuscarora are mixed in as well as with the Sapani. Sapani and Catawba are the same language and ethnic group, really. Okay, let me go into the next one. So now let me finish up with Carter because I still have some notes. All right. Happy New Year. One of the top American Indian surnames on the coastal Carolina is, um, let's see, what is the top name? Chavis. Chavis and Gibson. I have Gibsons in my family. Um, Another one is Wiggins. And let's see, Bradby, Bradboy, and Squires. Now, Squire, I'm going to get into the. All right, I'm going to read that in a second, grappling. Squires, there was actually a Matamusket chief, and his name was John Squire. And that's where that surname comes from in America, from Chief John Squire, who was an Algonquin Matamusket. He said Richardson. Oh goodness, y'all give me too many names. You said Gravelin Carter's 7 generations grandmother was Keziah Powerton, who married Robert Carter of Fairfax County. Oh, okay. I'm close to Fairfax County. Keziah was kind of a popular name back in the day, oddly. So her last name is Powerton. That's another last name indicating that they were Powerton. They were Powerton Indians. And sometimes they pass that name as a first name for boys. So it'd be like Powerton Bradby or Powerton Carter. I've seen those names before. And somebody said Richardson. Let me see. I think Richardson might be on there, but trying to get it done. I only have a short amount of time. I might have to do a part 2 for you guys. So let's get into it. So a lot of these names are in the 1790 Free People of Color census. And the fact that these are indigenous people is making that connection for some of y'all who not getting it, that the free people of color were mostly indigenous people. Okay? There were indigenous families that intermarried with each other, and they took on this, like the Chavis surname. Chavis originated with the Powhatan people. Some of the men from there, they married European women, and they moved to North Carolina, right? And then Chavis was associated with the Lumbee and Catawba, and what was the other tribe there? Sictoan, I think that's his. And those people there, a lot of the tribes in northern North Carolina are actually from Virginia, and some of the tribes in South Carolina are from Virginia because of those men, and they were married to European women. So I know a lot of people try to say, well, the line goes from the mother, and you're not indigenous, but a lot of these people on these reservations and these tribes descend from so-called white women. And I think Dr. Fatu Dara has gone into that a lot, emphasizing on those people. It hasn't happened in my family, so I can't really speak too much about it, but I know that these Muslim.
All right, I am off to go to my duplex right now. I haven't been there in about a week and a half, and I want to make this video something that really showcases, what I personally look for in an investment property. Now, this is the first duplex I have ever purchased. I got it about 2 months, maybe a month and a half ago. We're currently in the process of doing a lot of work to it. So that's what I'm going to explain. I'm going to show you the different bids that we got, what work is actually going to be done. Again, I haven't been over there in a little while, so I don't know if they've actually started any of the work. I know they're about to, but I want to explain why it does look very scary. And, when I first saw it, I was like, it looked bad. The walls are spray painted. The doors are kicked in. It looks pretty severe. But in reality, a lot of that is external. There are a few big problems, but I want to go ahead and explain what it is I was looking for, what the future plans are, and why something like that looks like a little bit more of a distressed or damaged property can actually be a great opportunity. Okay, so without further ado, it's about 15 to 18 minutes to get over there. Let's jump on the road and go check it out.
Why is the ad playing? Okay.
And just like that, we have arrived. All right, so this is the vacant side
had my guy put a lockbox on it because we just rekeyed everything. So, gotta punch in the code, grab the key, we'll be good. All right, let's go inside. I guess they've already started. Hello? I guess nobody's here. Well, this is